If you think you know cybersecurity, I want you to just throw out the old rulebook. Seriously, because in 2026, the game is completely changed. Those defensive walls we all spent years building, they're gone. We are now officially navigating a brand new digital frontier.
And this quote, it really says it all, doesn't it? The whole idea of a castle and moat defense, a strong wall protecting everything inside, that's ancient history now. The perimeter has dissolved. And the biggest reason why is that AI is no longer just a tool we use. It's an active player on the field for both the good guys and the bad guys.
So that brings us to the first massive pillar defining security in 2026, agentic AI. We have officially moved on from AI that can just chat with us to AI that can actually act on its own. And that changes everything.
So what is agentic AI really? Look, this is not just a smarter chatbot. We're talking about fully autonomous systems that can think, they can plan, and they can carry out these really complex multi-step operations all by themselves. And here's the absolute key phrase, without direct human command. They're off the leash.
And the speed of this change is it's staggering. Think about it. Just last year, in 2025, our biggest worry was an AI writing a really convincing phishing email. Now we're defending against an AI that can dream up, plan, and launch an entire attack campaign from start to finish. That's not a step up, it's a whole different ballgame.
And this has created a completely new kind of enemy, the malicious shadow agent. These are AI systems that are designed to just live in the dark, constantly and autonomously hunting for weaknesses, either across the entire internet or deep inside a private network. And here's basically how they work. A shadow agent will do the recon to find a target. Then it'll find a vulnerability and exploit it to get inside. And finally, it'll pull out whatever sensitive data it can find. But the most critical part, the thing you have to remember, is that there is no human in the loop. It does all of this completely on its own, learning and getting smarter as it goes.
But, okay, it's not all doom and gloom. We are not defenseless here. To fight this new threat, we've had to develop our own autonomous defenders, sentinel agents. The strategy is simple, really. You have to fight fire with fire, or, in this case, fight AI with our own AI.
Now, these sentinel agents are the heart of a whole new strategy called Autonomous Security Operations, or ASOC. They're constantly monitoring other AI models, looking for things like prompt injection attacks. That's where a bad guy tries to trick an AI with its instructions. They're also hunting for any unauthorized autonomous actions. The big takeaway here is that security is no longer about just finding a bad file. We've shifted to fielding an active, autonomous AI defense force.
Okay, on to our second pillar. This is a threat that's been kind of a theoretical thing on the horizon for years, but in 2026, the countdown timer has gotten very, very real. I'm talking about post-quantum cryptography.
This phrase right here, harvest now, decrypt later, it should honestly send a chill down your spine. Here's what's happening. Nation-state attackers are stealing massive amounts of encrypted data right now. They can't read it yet, but they're stockpiling it, just waiting for the day when they finally have a quantum computer powerful enough to crack it all wide open.
So here's how this nightmare scenario unfolds. Today, our most valuable data, think government secrets, new product designs, financial records, it's all being hoovered up and stored. Sometime in the near future, those powerful quantum computers finally arrive. And on that day, which people are calling Q-Day, everything that's being stolen right now becomes an open book.
So what do? Well, the only real defense is to protect our data today with a new kind of encryption, one that even a quantum computer can't break. And that defense is called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC.
Building this defense in 2026 really comes down to two key things. First is something called cryptographic agility, which is just a fancy way of saying you can swap out your encryption methods easily, like changing the locks on your house. And second is a hybrid approach. We're combining the classic encryption we already trust with a new quantum-resistant one, like Kyber. It's kind of like a belts and suspenders approach to make sure our most sensitive data stays locked down for decades to come.
And that brings us to our third and final pillar. If the network perimeter is gone, what's left? What's the absolute last line of defense? It's identity. And let me tell you, in a world full of AI-driven deepfakes, simply proving who you are has become the single biggest challenge in security. And just to give you an idea of the scale of this problem, get ready for this number. We spend so much time worrying about our human employees, right? But in most big companies today, for every single human user, there are 10 machine identities. 10. We're talking bots, APIs, AI agents. How on earth are you supposed to manage and secure all of that?
So here's the threat. The tools that we came to rely on for years, things like standard multi-factor authentication, are now being actively broken. Sophisticated AI can create deep fakes and run social engineering campaigns that make those simple push notifications and 6-digit codes basically useless.
So MFA has to get a serious upgrade. We're seeing a big move away from those vulnerable legacy systems and toward methods that are truly phishing resistant. That means things like FIDO2 physical security keys that can't be digitally stolen, combined with advanced biometrics that can prove liveness, confirming you're a real, live person in that moment and not just a deepfake video.
This whole idea falls under a philosophy that we're now calling Zero Trust 2.0, and the concept is pretty simple. Trust is never permanent. Just because you logged in successfully this morning doesn't mean you should still have access this afternoon. Your identity and your access rights are constantly being checked and rechecked based on your behavior and a ton of other risk signals.
Okay, so we've got agentic AI, we've got the quantum countdown, and we have the new identity perimeter. Let's tie all three of these massive pillars together into one clear strategic focus for 2026.
So here's how it all breaks down. First, agentic AI. This is a tough, high-difficulty problem, and it's something the C-suite and security operations teams need to be all over. Why? Because AI is making that leap from just generating content to acting autonomously. Second, post-quantum. This is a medium difficulty problem that falls squarely on IT infrastructure teams, driven by those Harvest Now threats and upcoming regulations. And finally, identity and zero trust. While it might be a bit less technically complex, it's an urgent problem for security architects because AI and deepfakes have pretty much broken our old models of trust.
And all of this, all these changes, they leave us with one final and I think really crucial question to think about. In a world where AI agents are fighting other AI agents and where our defenses are becoming more and more autonomous, what's our role? What is the new job for the human defender on this brand new frontier?